Exactly.
Mother? I don't even, wow. Okay, one word. One word, guys. Ready? Relentless. No?
Yeah.
Yes. Relentless.
Once it gets going.
In your face. Okay. I really don't know how to talk about this movie. The spoiler section is going to be huge. And this section is going to be small. Because I do not want to spoil anything for you guys. Because I went into this film knowing jack shit. I just knew Jennifer Lawrence, possible horror movie, kind of thriller, whatever.
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be like horror, disturbing. I was like, okay, so...
Yeah, can't wait.
Exactly.
And wow. Okay, so this is directed by Darren Aronofsky. And he has a reputation, you know, so I didn't even know who the director was. That didn't even prepare me. So because I wasn't prepared, I was in the movie like this, like...
He wouldn't sit still.
What is that? I thought I was going insane. I thought I was literally going insane. I would look behind me, and I'd try to look at the audience's reactions. This movie
the same thing I am?
is fucking crazy, man. And I can't tell if that is a good thing or a bad thing that it got this reaction from me. And I'm going to say it now. I think it's a good thing. Okay? I think that it rises above what garbage we've seen, you know, in movies over time. They're generic, Hollywood just cranking out shit. And to tell this story in this kind of way, once you know, have concluded the story and take time to think about it. Now, granted, we've had like 15 minutes to think about this.
Drive home.
Right? So I'm sure you guys can analyze the fuck out of it in our spoiler section. But look at me. I want you to see the film. I hate it. I hate it, but I love it. Okay? I'm going to make that admission now, I think.
Weird, yeah.
I love it because I love mindfuck movies. Now, I did see like a clip before one of the other movies we saw that the most scary thing you've ever seen or the most intense thing or whatever, right? Yeah. And I was like, fuck you. They're not the scariest. I seen some shit, but no, this shit was fucking relentless and intense. I wouldn't say it's the scariest movie ever. It's not like that. It is mindfuck territory, and I love movies that just I'm going to let somebody else speak right now, but other than this, to say that you were involved, were you guys engaged the entire time?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not the entire time.
Well, that's good.
It took a little, I mean, it was...
I want other opinions here, but
it was good. Once it got going, it was really good. It was relentless after the first 45 minutes,
Okay.
maybe?
I think it's because you saw it coming.
Well, no, we'll get into the spoilers when I kind of realized what was happening, but even then, it was 45 minutes before we got there.
What about Joe? You engaged the whole time?
Not the beginning.
He was engaged because she wasn't wearing a bra the first 45 minutes of the movie.
I told you that in privacy.
Jennifer Lawrence is
she's a hottie,
is the mother character.
You can't blame me.
You got Javier Bardem here, you know, who is you were looking up for the age.
Yeah.
There's some like 30-year difference. We were like, lucky motherfucker.
To begin with.
Yeah.
It was addressed though. They talked about it.
So let's focus on the performances and the direction and the story, and talk a little bit about that and then jump into spoilers, because we don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm going to tell you up front to go see the film right now, because I think that it is an experience. It's a ride. People put in good performances. Mm-hmm. I think that Javier Bardem in particular was very good. He's always very good, in my opinion. Ed Harris, Michelle Pfeiffer, I couldn't figure out these characters because I was searching for a reason. I had preconceived notions about what this film was going to be, and it threw me completely for a loop. And I expected them to play to a certain stereotype, and when the film goes off rails, it just goes and goes and goes, and it is totally, it's a singular vision. And because it's such a vision that is not really presented a lot to mainstream audiences, I think it needs to be seen. and whether you fucking hate it and think it's stupid, or whether you are like me and were totally ignorant and then figured it out at the end, or towards the end, and then was like, enjoyed the experience. And I'm sure that this is a kind of film that's going to have backlash after a certain amount of time. I would love to like quiz everybody on how they felt about it then, because I guarantee you their opinions are going to change over time. They're going to fall into different camps, especially with the subject matter. But okay, so back to the direction, Joe. How did you feel this was directed by Darren? He made Black Swan. Did you like Black Swan?
I like Black Swan. He also made Requiem for a Dream.
Oh,
which
shit.
I really liked.
Yeah, I love
Requiem. He
Requiem.
made The Wrestler, which
yeah, super. I did not know that. I actually, okay, Joe. Well, how did you think he did here with presenting this material?
I'm gonna say I like those other ones way better than this one.
Okay.
But I agree with you. You still need to kind of watch this.
You think so? You need to watch it.
It's not really my type of film.
Okay.
It was like it was very impactful. I was like,
Joe,
what?
you watched the worst garbage on Netflix.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Well, I wouldn't recommend that. Right?
Yeah.
I recommend this just for the experience.
Okay. What and what about you?
I think this is a good. This is a kind of movie, whether you like it or not, it's really fun to talk about. And so this reminds me a lot.
I can't wait for the spoiler section.
Like we talked a little bit about Jacob's Ladder, and so this is a movie where everyone kind of has opinions about certain parts.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what did he mean? This? Did he mean this? And it's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I thought it was. I think people should see it.
Yeah. This film made me go back and forth while watching it, like extreme. Like I'm looking at Alex. I'm like, I'm about to punch somebody, man. But then I'm like, what is it? What? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? So I fucking hate it. But so that to me is a good sign of your film. If it is evoking that kind of reactions from me, then it has me engaged, fully immersed, and I think that you should see the film. The direction is great. You could tell he knows exactly what he wants to do. It's filmed in a certain style, and I'll tell you the style, it's brutal. It is in your face. The camera is literally just right here for everything. Everything is so there's tight close shots. It's not close-ups, it's tight shots, you know. And so you can't really see what's happening. You feel oppressed. You feel a sense of tension and what is happening, and it's all from the perspective of Jennifer Lawrence's character. The story is happening around her, and she serves as sort of the ground for the audience because she cannot figure out what the fuck is going on, and who are all these people showing up to her house? Yeah. Why is her husband treating her with such indifference, and he cares way more about these people who show up in the house, and what is sinister in the basement? You know, why is there blood and fire and what is going on? But the film does address a lot of that, and you realize by the end, oh, okay, now I see what you were doing. But me and Alex were saying, well, I don't know, there were some things in there that are left unresolved. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys maybe have answers, or people smarter than we, or have analyzed it for longer than 10 minutes can figure out what those particular things meant, and we can talk about it on spoilers. But in terms of performances, direction style, effects.
They had a star cast. Michelle Pfeiffer, Ed Harris, Javier and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, and they put in all top-notch performances. They sell this world. Yeah. I was fully immersed, and that counts for a lot for me. So I think, and this is really tough, because as I was driving home, I was like, Joe, I do not know how to fucking rate this movie. I hated it, and I loved it at the same time. I don't know what to tell you. And I don't want to say this one particular thing. I'm going to save it for spoilers on whether you'll like it or not, but I have to save that for spoilers. So I'm going to go with final verdicts, and we're going to put this on Alex first, and so that I have time to mull this over.
I give it a strong meh and a half.
There's no fucking way, Alex, you can be meh about this movie.
So
it was was it not a roller coaster ride for you?
It was, but I mean, I've been on, like, bad roller coasters too.
Well, here's the problem. You told me at the very beginning, maybe you should talk about this in spoilers, that you had figured out what was happening.
No, I watched a trailer with Erica, and we both kind of got a kind of a Rosemary's Baby vibe, and that's not like that. It wasn't there, and so that's what I was worried.
To me, I got like a satanic cold, and people are going to invade the house, and there may be psychological.
In the basement.
Anyways, we're going to talk about it in spoilers.
But the verdict, I think this is a movie worth seeing. It was really slowish in the beginning. Once it got going, it was kind of cool. It did a really good job, like bringing the anxiety level up there.
Yeah.
I would give this.
Great job.
I would give it 7.
And so, what you felt with is a really big strength and a big weakness.
They kind of beat once you figure out what's happening. If you go the entire movie kind of clueless, and then you figure out what's happening in the movie, I can see
your enjoyment is gonna be up
higher. Once you figure it out too early, it's beating you over the head with it, and so you're sitting there going, "Come on, I get it already. Stop it." So worth seeing, definitely worth discussing. This is one where I'm gonna go to the local game store and we're just gonna in the next week just annoying everyone.
Well, good. Yeah, you're gonna get people to go out and see this.
I think it's worth seeing. I don't know if I
in the theater
super enjoyed it. I mean,
I
wouldn't go see it again.
I wouldn't watch it again, but I'm glad I saw it once.
Yeah. So what would you rate this, Joe?
I don't even know, man.
It's a 7. For a film like this to get an emotional reaction, it's tough as fuck.
It is.
I mean, it's an above average film, so that's why it's above a 5.
Yeah, so you can narrow your scope, Joe, if you need to be like, oh, well, in terms of directing, acting, and cinematography and this, and
Okay, well, I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it, but out of his other work, I still like the other ones way better, but I guess this is a completely different, but...
And they need to fire whoever did the marketing. This was not the scariest movie you've ever seen. This was not any of those... It was not at all how they
So I disagree on that. I think that line, I'll give them a pass on that line. Because it made me want to come in here and be like, come at me, bro. So and this film was like, fuck. But that was the second act, third act, okay? The first act was like, we're gonna tease you, we're gonna loud noises. Kind of bored here. What's going on? The first act does plod, and at points you said you were even bored, which is a word that by the second and third act you're gonna be like, what?
No,
you cannot be bored.
Not at the end.
But it does kind of, it's like get to the point, but when it does, boy, does it come out swinging. So this is a film that you definitely got to experience. And considering the story, there's not a lot of stories about this subject matter. I think it's bold. I think it's intriguing. It's entertaining. This is one of those types of films that you are going to analyze with your buddies. Yeah. And everybody's going to have their own theories and interpretations. It's very clear what the story is about by the end. I think when you talk to people, you're like, oh, okay, I got you. But that doesn't mean you can't have your own interpretation of the events. So for a movie like that, and I love mindfuck movies, I love thriller movies, and there were some pretty disturbing scenes in there too. Maybe they went a little too far. Yeah, I think the brutalization of Jennifer Lawrence and kind of the way they sort of sexualized that a little bit. I was like,
they had some casting decisions.
That even more.
I don't want to talk about that yet.
Yeah, so there was miscast. Somebody was miscast in the film. So, God, I don't know. Here's how I'm feeling, right? I fucking hate this film, and I want to give it like something like, I'm not gonna ever watch this again, or maybe I will just to prove somebody wrong or something like that.
I challenge you.
Right. So that to me like is a 5, 6 territory because it was so intriguing and it engaged me the whole time. It was definitely well filmed, well acted, so it can't be anything below that. But at the same time, the emotional impact that it had on me. Now, I only had 2 beers, but I felt like I was on fucking drugs, dude, because I was looking for horror elements. I was completely tricked by the marketing. That's why I say, don't fire that person. Because had I known what I know that you knew, by the first act, I probably would have not enjoyed it quite as much.
I think so.
So at times, I thought this film was a 10 out of 10. I am not joking. At times, I was like, what the fuck? To affect me in this way, that's a 10 out of 10, but it's not, okay? So I guess I'm just going to meet in the middle, and I'm going to go 7. 7 out of 10. It's one that you need to see, okay? And I want to know your opinion on it. So that's it. Let's go to the spoiler section so you know what the fuck we're talking about. And if you haven't seen the film, please do not watch the spoiler section, because this is one of those that I really want you, if you were in my situation, if you were that ignorant that I was walking into this film that knew nothing, you're going to enjoy it a whole lot more. If you watch the spoiler section, it's going to be worse,
you're
period.
gonna overanalyze it.
So, all right. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. So, welcome to the spoiler section, and here we're free. So, you know, as I was expecting a ghost story, a horror story, satanic cults, anything like that, it was not that. What was it?
It was an allegory about God and Mother Earth.
Religion!
And it was just...
The mother, and the poster even sort of spoils this. I've thrown up the poster right now. This is Mother Earth. And she is giving everything, her heart and everything to God. Literally, Javier Bardem's character, he's God. Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Earth. And these annoying fucking people that you just annoy the whole film with and you just want to kill and hurt. You wanted to punch everybody is humanity. Their greed, their violence, their sexual urges, and just their selfishness. And so they're constantly invading this home that God and Mother Earth have built together. And see, when I say that, it's like, wow, that works perfectly. You hit it perfect. You didn't hit it perfect. So these characters come in, and it's like, why are you letting these random people into your house? And you say you figured it out right there.
Well,
I didn't know who. So Ed Harris comes in,
and he's Adam. So Adam, he comes in and he.
Why is he coughing all the time?
I don't know. He's just coughing all the time.
The fuck?
I don't know. Maybe at that part in the Bible, Adam's super sick. But you know, parts of him get ripped out. Like you see that rib get ripped out at night, and then the next day his wife shows up.
So that's why. So he's coughing, and you're thinking that this guy's gonna contaminate the house or something, because Javier is just really nice to him and almost favors him, this random stranger, over fucking Mother Earth, over Jennifer Lawrence, and she's like, why is he putting so much attention? And she notices that he's like thrown up in a toilet, and he covers a wound from his rib, and it was because that was the story where maybe it was God that ripped the took the rib out of him, and so he had to help him through it to make the wife. The wife shows up, and she's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, so
Eve was a bitch.
I didn't have it figured out at this point yet either, because you just see this obnoxious wife that comes in, but she's constantly trying to go into the forbidden area, right? And again, she wants to see the thing that she's not allowed to see, and she wants to see the thing. Don't go in there.
His office is off limits.
Yeah.
And Mother Earth is like, stop trying to go here. And it's like, this is my house. Stop fucking telling me and looking at me like you live here. You don't live here. This is my house. And when I say that, I'm thinking, Mother Earth, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Darren, the director, Aronofsky. It's great.
I had a hard time buying it up to this point because I didn't get where he was going, and I just saw this super weak-willed woman, which is my mom would not put up with anything that happens in the first 45 minutes of this movie. She's like, no, my house, you get out. Like, no one disrespects me in my own.
Well, by the second act, there are so many things that compound and compound and compound that it's broken. the film sort of breaks because it breaks your immersion. It's like, okay, there's something happening here.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that she would allow all these people to come in, rip her house apart, take advantage of them and stuff like that.
Someone
which
was
is
murdered in her home.
Mama was murdered in her home.
Cain murders Abel in the house, and that's the moment where it's like, okay, I get it.
So the
now.
brothers come in, and I'm still lost here, but that's when you realize this is Cain and Abel.
Definitely Cain and Abel. You know, one's the greedy one that wants to keep all of these things, and the other one's trying to be reasonable. Like, look, this is what Dad wants. We need to work together. And he just straight up murders him in exactly the way that Cain murdered. You know, it hits him in the head, gets a mark on his own head, and it's a very biblical thing. And then from that moment on, there's more and more biblical religious things that keep happening.
Yeah.
And I wish that I wasn't paying attention, or I didn't immediately think Cain and Abel. I just thought like two dickhead assholes killing each other.
I still thought two dickhead assholes. I just thought satanic cult, these guys are crazy, they just act like that, you know? So Jennifer Lawrence, there's constant, putting her hands and sort of checking the heartbeat of the home, checking the heartbeat of the house, and she takes, medication, this yellow material.
That weird thing. From the beginning, I thought it was a cult, and then I don't know if she's like hallucinating the entire thing because she's taking this medicine thing that's back from the 1920s. I don't even think that medicine was still good. It had to expire. That thing was
crazy.
like, what the fuck?
I didn't understand what that meant.
And they don't address it at all.
So in the Mother Earth allegory or this connection, what is that? Is that the earth, the rain? How does the earth repair itself or calm itself down? Or is this just a cheap red herring to make you think that it's something else and it's never explained? That's why it gets knocked down a few points from me because I like the story of Adam and Eve, and I like the story of God and Mother Earth and that kind of stuff and mind fucks. And I think it's great that we have another one that's told in something you've never fucking seen before. You've never seen this fucking film. I wish I put that in the review section. You ain't never seen a film like this. It's crazy. And by the end of it, you're like, oh, that's what it was about. And so now you're like, I'm better than that. I know that shit. Oh, fuck. Man, fuck that, But I guarantee you half the people that probably will talk shit about it afterwards is going to be like, they were the ones that it affected them greater than they said. It's rare for a movie to affect me like that. So I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. So we have no explanation for this yellow drink that she drinks to calm herself down while humanity and these people are ripping into her home. Loud noises. See, what bothered me the most is, all the close, tight shots, these very loud, annoying noises, and these annoying fucking people. But I think that was the point. Yeah. The point is humanity is a scourge, and they're fucking, and you just want to punch them in the face, but I can't separate my feelings, because that was the point. And so then it should get a 10 out of 10 because I hated humanity,
Yeah.
And so you've got these people barging into the house, showing up in huge numbers, and then it turns overpopulation, and yet he keeps accepting people in. Then you've got scenes of fucking nightclubs. You've got tribal, some of them turn into tribes, and they're chanting, and they're all worshiping in different ways is what that is supposed to be.
It's like the progression of religion.
The progression
there was like religious wars, and then skirmishes, and then big wars.
And then full-out wars. And then military soldiers, or police start to come first, and military soldiers start to come in, and then you've got gunshots, and it turns into a war zone in this house, and everything is
of men and there's sex trades and everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
And so she has finally the whole culmination of the film is the baby, okay, and the baby is Jesus Christ. Well, at least that's my interpretation.
Yeah,
yes?
I guess.
Yes. Okay. So he gives the world his only son. So he has. God doesn't want to fuck the earth, and Jennifer Lawrence is like, you won't fuck me. That's the problem.
Super awkward, by the way.
Super weird.
She's like at the highest level of unhappy and
she
stressed.
Should be, yeah.
And then he's just like, I'm going to touch you. And she's like, all right,
she should not be hot and heavy here. But then he grabs her and he's like forces himself on her. But then she's into it. She's like, all right, and then they have sex. And Jesus Christ is created from the sex
wakes up and says, "I'm pregnant."
The next morning.
The next morning.
It's like, I know I'm pregnant. It's like,
okay. And so she gives birth, but that's when all hell is breaking loose. And she's running through this house, and finally they barricade themselves in his office, which is Eden, which was off limits to everybody. And, you know, she's just so shocked and disgusted with him that he's allowed this to happen, that she doesn't want to share her baby with him, but he just waits patiently. And when she gets hungry and tired, you know, she's momentary relapse. Oh, the baby's taken from her. He takes the baby, goes outside, and hey,
crowd surfing. That baby was crowd surfing.
That baby gives it to humanity. Baby crowd surfing, and then the baby gets scared. And I was like, oh my God, we are fucked now. Baby's pissing all over the place.
Yeah.
And the baby's screaming his head off. And this, I am emotional. I'm like, put the baby down. Everybody put the baby down. I don't know.
Take it easy.
Well, what happened to the baby next?
And then the baby's head breaks and the fucking neck breaks and you see it, and I'm like, God damn it, I didn't want to see that.
It was a loud
and humanity was so rough with the baby.
And then
they start ripping the baby to pieces. Or no, she notices the baby is in flesh and just guts and shit, and then she turns around and they're all eating the baby. They're eating pieces of a fucking baby. And Jennifer's not at this point punching them, and I just wanted to punch these people. But she does lose her shit, and she's screaming. And I'm convinced with her performance, she does a great job. Yeah. And she picks up glass, because there's always broken glass in pictures of things. That must be another message, religious symbols of God and stuff. And so she takes the glass and starts fucking stabbing everybody.
Earthquake.
Earthquakes? Is that maybe what that was with the camera shaking and shit?
She made an earthquake.
Oh, yeah, she did.
That's right. She made it. So then she was basically getting back at humanity. There's so many things that you can draw. God darn. After talking about this...
But we told you to watch
I said 7 out of 10. It should probably be more like a 9 out of 10.
Whoa.
A 9 out of 10 that I absolutely fucking hate. I'm going to put that at the end of the other section. I'm going to sneak that into my review. Changing my score. It's a 9 out of 10 that I absolutely hate. Okay, now cut to the other section. Okay, anyway, so like, holy fucking shit.
But when you're watching, and then the big reveal happens immediately after, right? She burns she burns everything down. She gets pissed. Well, first the humanity beats the crap out of her. Yeah. Rips her top off, and
Jennifer Lawrence's titties are hanging out everywhere. And it's the first time you don't want to look. It's brutalized. It's sexualized violence that feels a little above and beyond. Like the director's like, yeah, you get topless and show your titties. Everybody wants to see your titties. Unnecessary. It was disgusting. It was a little too far. Especially baby head cracking and shit. But you need that kind of stuff in the film, the brutalization and the baby thing, to really get these emotional responses.
At this point in the movie, did you think that's Jesus?
Yeah, at this point, when they were eating the baby, that's when I was getting hints of it the whole way through, but I was still hoping for something else or whatever. But as soon as they started eating the baby, I was like, okay, and there's candles everywhere, and they're acting cultish, and I was like, you're saying religion is a cult, and you're saying
it had been taken too far.
Taken really, really far.
Yeah.
And so the director it's written by him as well. He has his own message with the film. Absolutely hates humanity, but puts us in the worst possible fucking light.
This film.
Yeah, well, I hated people in the first place, Joe. I just don't like people. And at the end, I just wanted to just punch everybody I saw. So that is a good reaction, and that's why I upped the rating later on to 9 out of 10. And yes, it's obvious, and yes, you should have seen it coming, and there's going to be a backlash to it. I could just see, Reddit and everybody on the internet. Well, not in Reddit specifically. I'm not saying anything about that, but it's just like, I see people confirm each other's, and then they go into two camps. And that's what I was trying to say, stay away from. If you're a religious person, you're probably going to hate this film. My mom is going to hate this film. If she sees this, she's going to write angry letters and she's gonna be tricked.
But when is she gonna get it?
She would be tricked.
When is she gonna get it? When is she gonna pick up on it?
Yeah,
it's gonna be like if it's later in the film
because she's mass audience. So sometimes I have to explain movies to her. So I don't know at what point she's gonna get it. I mean, she might like it, and then I tell her, and she's like,
the last 30 seconds, she's like, no.
You almost got a sense of that, a sense of what it really is when they showed scenes of the house being, built up. And this was even before the end of the film. Remember where it was like creation and it goes from dark to light. And I was like, okay, I see what we're doing here.
Paradise.
And you notice things are out of the place throughout the whole film. There's these little cool things. Like there's no fucking driveway. Where are the cars? Where do people walk up?
Yeah.
And when we're in, and I told you this, I like the sounds of cowboys walking in his office. They were like spurs or something. It was like ding, every once in a while, a little ching.
I thought
chime.
It was a clock or something, but
But it's a little chime, and I think I remember.
It's only in Eden. You only hear those sounds, I think.
Only in Eden. Yes, it is, and I liked that part, and that in Catholic Church they have those little ring-a-ding sounds, and I don't know how it factors into what it was actually supposed to mean.
But what about the hole in the floor that they didn't necessarily address into anything? That the ground is bleeding and she's gonna stick her finger in it.
Yeah, and then the blood drips in the basement and creates a doorway. And I was like, okay, this is where we're going with the satanic cult. He's hiding stuff under here.
Cool in there.
It's not that. What is that supposed to be? Is that an allegory for hell? And she reaches down into hell and starts fire and brings hell's fire up from hell.
I thought it was like one of those miracles, like you see a picture of Jesus or something. Because you see this couple is like, hey, take a picture with us. And they lean into that thing and take a picture with this miracle and whatnot. That's what I interpreted it.
Okay.
There's so many ways you could interpret it, and this is getting better the more I talk about it. There's oil. There's oil down there.
No.
Yeah, that's oil.
I know.
That's a big old fucking drum of oil. So what that means is, when there ain't no more oil left, Mother Earth said, I'm taking your fucking oil. And I'm burning your fucking oil. We're no more oil. And then humanity fucking loses it. Everybody explodes and shit.
It's like a middle school English teacher who wants you to explain why the room is blue in a scene that doesn't matter. Like, you can read into it all you want, but... Look,
I'm trying to justify that scene.
I know, we're going so deep. This is already...
You can go as deep as you want, but that's why this film is good. Can you go that deep with something like the fucking, Poltergeist remake or something, or the Freddy Krueger remake? No. He's a No, you can't. That film sucked. Or the fucking last Airbender film, the film adaptation of that. So this has these good elements, and we've been talking about it for a very long time. So I'm going to wrap it up here. But I told you the spoiler section was going to be huge because this film deserves to be seen. It deserves to be talked about. It was well executed, well filmed, and there ain't nothing like it you ever seen. Now, if you're here and you watch this before you saw the film, it's going to really ruin the enjoyment, and you probably won't have that same impact. You're going to be like, what are these guys... Why are they sucking its dick or fucking, this film ain't that great. But if you were just that innocent, genuine, is this a horror film? And you go in it, your mind is going to be blown. And hats off to the director, the writer, and all the acting cast. All right, guys? So definitely check this one out and give us your thoughts and opinions on what all the fucking medicine we want to know about. We want to know about the room and the bleeding and the room at the end.
The chime thing.
Mm-hmm, the chime thing. Was there anything else? By the end, she's like, I have nothing left to give. After she sets the house on fire, kills everybody, she's burned, and she's like, what are you? And he's like, what did he say?
I am him.
I didn't hear any of that.
I thought he said,
I am him. And she's like, I have nothing left to give. He's like, your love. And he fucking takes her heart as
Kalima.
Takes her heart out, and then cracks it and turns it into a crystal, which gives life to everything again. The house repairs,
and he spawns a new 26-year-old actress,
a new fucking hottie that he can fucking do the whole thing over again with. Which to me, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean? Is this another planet now? Is this another Earth? Or are we just doing this whole circle thing again? I don't understand.
I mean, that's why the first scene is a woman the woman who's not Jennifer Lawrence, charred up and on fire. Yeah. And then they restart, and now it's Jennifer Lawrence's mother.
Gotcha. But why does it need to be circular? That starts to get the eye rolling here. It's like the story of God and humanity in the end.
So do we go
from
a 9 to an 8 now? Are you going back down?
I'm probably going to go back down, man. Because like what? Are you saying, oh, maybe, no, we're going back up now because he's saying everything in existence right now, this is just one version of things. It is. We will die and then everything will start all the fuck over. Okay, so going back up. Going back up.
Well, I mean, there's like, the first half of the movie is he's dwelling on the Old Testament, right? He hasn't written anything in a really long time, and everyone loves that first book, and it's not until he writes the New Testament has a little baby and then everyone goes
people freak out. Okay, so we're not done yet, even though this is the longest spoiler section in history. But there's a lot to go through with a film like this, and
it's fun to talk about.
It's fun to talk about. So there's two things we forgot to say, two big things, and this contributes to us lowering the score.
Yeah.
Kristen
Wiig, who I absolutely love.
Ghostbusters lady. No.
that just triggered everybody. We'll know that film. I mean, absolutely love her, but she shows up as...
I really don't like her all that much. I don't think she's that funny.
She's funny.
I don't think
anyway, different video.
But she shows up that she's talented and a good writer, but she's completely miscast in this film.
She's the Javier Bardem's publicist and shows up completely unannounced, and you see this and they show it at a point in the movie where the tension's really high, right? And you're anxious, you want to figure out what's going on, and then you see someone that normally when I look at it is like, oh, that something's gonna be funny, and it was inappropriate.
It just didn't fit. It didn't fit. It took me out of the film. I was like, what? Who the fuck? Oh my god! It's one of those parts in the film that made me laugh. And they really should not have done that. I don't know if he's a fan of her or whatever. So God's publicist, let's talk about that. And then there was the one guy that was always helping him. Is that supposed to be the Pope or the priest, you know, who was putting the ashes on people? But one thing we didn't talk about is Satan. So if this is about God and Jesus and Mother Earth, where does Satan figure into this?
The only time I saw anything about that was... there's like a picture of Javier is ripped up, but somebody drew like horns and made him look like the devil.
So in this interpretation, there is no devil. He isn't the devil.
Yeah, people like viewing him. I mean, so the first time we see him with horns, I think if I remember right, it's the Cain character. Leaves it and has horns on it, and so the story goes. He doesn't like God. He doesn't want to. I think he doesn't want to sacrifice a lamb, so he burns hay instead.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There was a lot of depictions of Javier Bardem. Some of them, they're kept pointing on the wall, and those were all good pictures. And then every now and then you see ripped up pictures of him, especially in like the war rooms, where certain sides of the room there was good pictures, and other sides there's bad pictures.
And everybody wanted, and they're taking apart the house because everybody wanted a piece of him. Everybody wanted a piece of God or something to remember him by and stuff. So it explained all their behavior, and everything has an explanation. Except this film.
Yellow stuff.
Yes.
Well, except for the yellow stuff and the chimes, and I'm sure some people have theories on that. But that is another problem, or what some critics might consider a problem, where this is one of those films like Jacob's Ladder. There's some stuff in there that
we just don't know.
You don't know, and that leaves stuff to mystery. Here, it's like 80-90% explained. You have all the answers by the end, and that takes away some of it. But I don't know. Maybe that's not a bad thing that it gives us all the answers. It's not a bad thing,
but can you, this spoiler section, the discussion that we would have had would have been 30 minutes longer had it ended 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah. I liked that way more. We would have been talking about it immediately.
For years we would have
talked about it. Exactly. So that's why I think it lost a little bit there. And that's why you think it got a little heavy-handed with some of the stuff. You could have treated those aspects lighter, making them slightly more broad interpretations of Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve and all these other things.
They didn't need to eat the baby.
Yeah, and beat everything over there.
This is my body. Literally eat the baby.
Eat my body. This is what the baby wanted, even though it seemed like, in this case, Jesus had no choice in the matter.
No.
This little baby, and the baby fucking neck breaks.
He's pissing himself.
But it's from a completely different perspective. That's it. I wanted to make sure that we put in Kristen Wiig, which, you know, ruins it. That the film explains almost everything. Doesn't really have a lot of Satan allegories in it. And and it's one of those films that you definitely need to see because it creates a lot of discussion. So
it's fun to talk about.
One of those that you'll jump on Reddit and see what everybody, what their opinions are. Right?
Downvote everything.
And I am super interested in what religious people have to say about this.
Man.
If they think it's heresy and they think this will warp your mind and it's from Satan. So, yeah, it should be pretty interesting. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. All right, bye, guys.